Burkina Faso is spending $30 million in 2025 to build 800 telecom towers in one of Africa's most ambitious digital projects. The goal: eliminate dead zones, boost national security, and unlock full internet access for millions. But with violence, sabotage, and infrastructure gaps. Will this work? The digital divide no one talks about. In much of the world, network coverage is a given. You make a call, stream a video, or refresh an app without ever thinking about the tower beaming that signal to your phone. But in Burkina Faso, large swaths of the country don't have that luxury. These areas, known locally as white zones, are completely off the telecom grid. As of 2022, only 183 white zones had been connected. That's out of a staggering 1,700 nationwide. And it's not just about weak signal. In many of these areas, there's no signal at all. No cell towers, no internet, no digital lifeline to the outside world. But all of that is about to change. In 2025, Burkina Faso is attempting what many consider a logistical and political moonshot: install 800 new telecom towers in a single year and bring its people, even in the most remote, insecure, and marginalized regions, online. Who's behind the mission? Leading this charge is Dr. Aminata Zerbo-Sabané, Minister of Digital Transition. Backed by the Regulatory Authority for Electronic Communications and Postal Services and working with the nation's top telecom operators, Orange Burkina, Telecom Faso, and Onatel SA, the initiative represents one of the most ambitious digital infrastructure campaigns on the African continent. It's all part of a national vision to eliminate white zones entirely by 2027. That's just over 2 years from now. To hit that goal, the government is deploying these 800 towers as a foundational leap forward. But towers alone don't build themselves, and they certainly don't operate without funding. A serious investment in connectivity. In March 2025, Prime Minister Rimtalba Jean-Emmanuel Ouedraogo revealed just how serious the government is about funding this transformation. In total, more than $30 million, equivalent to 18 billion CFA francs, has already been committed to developing digital infrastructure across the country. Of that, $5 million has been allocated specifically to help restore telecom coverage in areas destabilized by conflict and terrorism. This funding helped operators reconnect 44 new localities in underserved zones. It's part of the larger Universal Service and Access Fund, which is backing 550 out of the 800 towers in this year's plan. The remaining 250 towers fall under the PAC Digital Initiative, short for Digital Transformation Acceleration Project, which focuses on enhancing digital governance and citizen engagement in high-priority areas. The math is clear: 800 towers, $30 million, and a rapidly shrinking window to deliver. But there's a dangerous catch. Building towers is only the beginning. Keeping them online, that's where the real challenge begins. Burkina Faso is facing a crippling security crisis, particularly in its northern and eastern regions. Between 2019 and 2022, the number of telecom towers destroyed by armed groups jumped from 11 to 106. As of August 2023, 681 telecom sites were either destroyed, out of service, or unreachable, up from 632 the previous year. In October 2024, Orange Burkina Faso reported that 15% of its network sites were inaccessible due to conflict. Earlier that year, Move Africa raised alarms over rising vandalism, warning that many of their sites were vulnerable to being attacked or looted. These aren't isolated incidents. They're part of a broader pattern where digital infrastructure becomes collateral damage or even a target in a war that has no clear front lines. And it's causing a ripple effect. National network coverage has already dropped by as much as 20% in some areas. This is the paradox Burkina Faso must navigate. The more towers it builds, the more it must protect. Building sovereignty from the inside. Burkina Faso isn't just thinking about towers and white zones. It's thinking long-term, about digital sovereignty. In 2025, the government began building 2 mini data centers, secure in-country storage facilities that will handle everything from state records to cloud services. More than $25 million of the total digital investment has gone into these centers, signaling a bold move away from foreign dependency. Why does this matter? Because in the digital age, data is power. Controlling your own data infrastructure means controlling your own digital destiny. It means government platforms stay online even when international systems go down. It means healthcare, education, and emergency response systems can run locally. And it means Burkina Faso is building the digital backbone of a sovereign state, not just borrowing someone else's. Resina, the government's secret weapon. Another pillar of the transformation is Resina, the National Public Administration Information Network. Think of it as the government's private internet, a high-speed, secure network that connects ministries, departments, and local administrations. As of early 2025, 2,947 government buildings are now connected to Resina, including 104 added just this year. That means faster decision-making, smoother service delivery, and fewer bureaucratic choke points. In a country where access to services has long been hampered by geography and outdated systems, this is a quiet revolution. But it's also just one part of a much bigger picture. Services are going online fast. Can citizens keep up? Between 2023 and 2024, the Burkinabe government digitized 169 administrative services. Of those, 77 are already live, while 92 are being deployed now. Everything from tax registration and birth certificates to business licenses and civil ID renewals is becoming accessible through digital portals. This is huge for citizens. It means less travel, less paperwork, and less waiting. It also reduces corruption, speeds up public administration, and builds trust between the state and its people. But here's the question no one's asking. Can the people actually use these services? As of 2023, Burkina Faso had an internet penetration rate of just 17%. 55.9% of the population owned a mobile phone, but smartphone ownership, essential for accessing digital platforms, remains low. On paper, there are 27.5 million SIM cards in circulation for a population of 23.4 million. But that doesn't mean everyone is online. Many people hold multiple SIMs to compensate for unstable networks. So while services are going digital, the gap in access, affordability, and digital literacy is still a major obstacle. International rankings paint a tough picture. The International Telecommunication Union released its 2024 ICT Development Index in June. Out of 47 African countries, Burkina Faso ranked 43rd, with a score of 30.1 out of 100. That's a sobering statistic for a country pushing so hard for digital inclusion. But to the government's credit, these numbers are not being ignored. They're being confronted head-on. Burkina Faso isn't pretending it's ahead. It's fighting its way forward, sometimes against impossible odds. The difference this time is in the strategy. Funding is local, plans are public, and goals are time-bound. There's urgency, and there's accountability. A critical year, a narrow window. So where does everything stand right now? As of mid-2025, the tender process for the 800 towers is underway, but it's still unclear whether construction has started or how much ground has been covered. With less than 6 months left in the year, the pressure is mounting. If the rollout slips into 2026, the entire 2027 goal of eliminating white zones could be in jeopardy. But here's the bigger truth. Even partial success would be monumental. Even 500 towers would bring mobile access to hundreds of thousands. Even 50% completion would double the number of white zones connected since 2022. This isn't just infrastructure, it's inclusion. It's access to opportunity, security, and dignity, one cell tower at a time. Burkina Faso isn't trying to become the next Silicon Valley. It's trying to survive and to thrive in a digital world that's leaving no room for those stuck offline. The $30 million investment, the 800 telecom towers, the mini data centers, the digitized services, all of it is part of a bold national effort to not just catch up, but leap forward. It's not perfect, it's risky, it's incredibly complex, but it's happening. And if it works, Burkina Faso could become a model for how fragile states can leapfrog into the digital age, using homegrown investment, smart planning, and the sheer will to connect people who've waited too long for a dial tone. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Could this strategy work in your country? Should more governments build digital sovereignty before inviting foreign tech giants in? And the real question, will Burkina Faso's towers rise before its time runs out? Because what happens in the next few months might just reshape Africa's digital future.